What's up, my friend? I'm Macro. Welcome back to my channel, Mixing with Macro. Now, today's video, I'm gonna show you how to make any artist that you work with sing. This is coming from the assumption that the artist may not be classically trained on how to sing. They're trying to hit these notes, but it's not really pulling off, and they just rely heavily on Autotune to give them that singer sound or the sound that they have in their music. This tool I'm gonna show you how to use today is very widely known in the music industry, and it is notoriously known for making artists that we all know and love sing much better than they actually know how to sing. Not gonna name any names. I am not gonna name the name of the artist in this video. The tool I'm gonna use today is called Melodyne. Now, if you don't know what you're doing with Melodyne, it can seem very intimidating, but it's actually very simple. I'm gonna show you the simplest way to look at Melodyne and how to use it effectively on your artist. This is what the song sounds like.
You got a nigga feeling this way. The way we Byron, no makeup. She pretty face ain't gotta say much. Don't know even on no lace front. So you a bad bitch, nothing average, yeah.
Alright, now for the sake of this video, I'm gonna turn off the auto-tune so you can hear what the artist sounds like.
You got a nigga feeling this way. The way we Byron, no makeup. She pretty face ain't gotta say much.
Alright, cool. Now we're not gonna Melodyne the entire song. I'm just gonna do a little portion just to show you the controls of Melodyne and how to use the best ones and the ones you need to focus on. And most importantly, the mindset behind Melodyne, because Melodyne, you must understand that it's not auto-tune. You can use Melodyne in an auto-tune-ish way, but it's not the purpose of it. It is so the artist naturally hits the notes that they're trying to hit. So when it finally gets the auto-tune works much more smoothly. At the end of the video, we're gonna do it before and after. I'm gonna show you, but we're just gonna do this little first piece right here in the song. I'm gonna put Melodyne on here. This is what Melodyne looks like if this is the first time you're being introduced to Melodyne. Now, this software here is the software that you want to put before the autotune. And what I tend to do is turn the autotune off so that we're not hearing an autotune vocal. We want to hear the natural sound of the artist. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is go up here. You're gonna set your key. The key of this song is C# minor. If this isn't checked, you check it and then you hit the transfer button. Put your playhead where you want to transfer the audio in and you just hit play.
You got a nigga feeling this way. The way we Byron, no makeup. She pretty face ain't gotta say much.
All right, so this is what we have here. Now, not to be confused with anything, just really quick, this is what the audio actually looks like. So this is the equivalent of what you see here, your waveform. That's all that is. This is not where the pitch is. This is just showing you the amplitude of the audio or just the shape of their voice. The one we need to be concerned about are these lines right here. These lines show you exactly what the pitch is doing. So it's showing you which notes they're hitting based on the key that you set. Make sure you set the key, and it shows you how much vibrato they have in those notes. All right, now what I usually do, you can go up here and change your controls. I'm just going to show you the tools that you need to be using. I hold control and left click anywhere, and I just have all my tools pop up here. Now the main tools are my hand tools, so I can move stuff around. If you got a trackpad, you can zoom in and out like that on your trackpad. I use the pitch tool. The pitch tool makes the pitch correct, so you can move the pitch up and down like that, like all that kind of stuff. All right, I use the pitch modulation, so in cases where they have too much vibrato and I want to smooth it out a little bit, you can do like that. Or if they have not enough vibrato, I want to add more, I can add more like that. I use a no separation tool. Very important, and I'm going to show you why we use it. So those four tools right there are the main tools that I use. Everything else has its time and place, but not for this tutorial. All right, so let's just get back into view here. All right, so this is his first note. I go to the pitch tool and just double click inside. Okay, cool. So even though the blob, this is what we call the actual waveform that we talked about earlier, the blob is on B, the pitch is way off, right? But at the end of these pitches is where the pitch actually stops. So it might look weird, but the pitch actually stops on the G sharp and A. Okay, so both of those are in C sharp minor, and the pitch curves around right on B, and that's in C sharp minor. So actually we don't need to touch that note. Now this pitch right here is where we'd want to use a separation tool, and the reason you use a separation tool is so you don't affect the rest of the notes, so you can just affect this part. And I would bring this up. I use option just to slide things up a little bit and just smooth things out. And this is where I would use the pitch modulation tool to bring that pitch right where it needs to be, right there. Okay, so let's keep moving on. So F sharp is in C sharp. Okay, so I would go back to my pitch tool, hold option, click this, and bring this up just a little bit, just so it's hitting inside of that note. Now G is not inside of C sharp minor, so even though these tools, even though if you can look, this pitch is actually going like this, we would just separate that tool right there and smooth it out and bring this up just a little bit like that.
You got a nigga feeling.
Now this pitch is kind of wild, right? You can actually hear it. So I'm gonna separate that again, so we're not affecting the entire thing. And once you move it, this little line smooths out a note, so it glides from note to note.
You got a nigga feeling.
Cool, it's a little bit better. I'm just gonna move this up a little bit more. Make sure that's nice and smooth. All right, cool. So now we go to this note. Now how do you know where you need to cut? Is if the pitch is super wild. So you see how this pitch is all the way here and is way out of the blob. So I would cut there. But now we can control each part of the pitch. So this note glides from G sharp all the way to F sharp. Both notes are inside of C sharp minor. So I would keep that there. Let's hear it.
You got a nigga feeling this.
Okay. All right, now we have this really wild note that just this really wild pitch that just goes up like that. So I'm gonna clip that, and it ends on C. Now C sharp, C is not in C sharp. I'm gonna go back to my pitch tool right there and pull it down, holding shift, and I'm gonna smooth it out. Cause see why I want to smooth it out, because when you pull it down, it starts making a note weird like that. See how it's bending? And listen to what happens when it bends.
This way. This way.
See, it's really weird. Okay, so that is where this tool comes in. It's right in the pitch tool. You have to be on the pitch tool, and then you just go on the line and it changes like that. Then it smooths out the pitch, so it doesn't sound all crazy. All right, I brought it down from C to B, right? And I cut a little bit more so I can bring it down a little bit more. And you see how it bends the pitch right there? We're gonna just smooth that out a little bit. Okay, so what we got so far?
You got a nigga feeling this way.
Okay, so far so good. We're almost at the end of this, guys. Okay, cool. Now the mistake when it comes to people using Melodyne is that they could just use a pitch tool, double click, and it just jumps to the right pitch. But the thing about it is that you don't want to just do that, because it usually takes away from the feeling of the track, and it makes the track sound more robotic. Not in the nice auto-tune way robotic, but more like it's AI. I don't know if you ever heard like an AI song. Like it's actually, you can tell like something's off. So you don't want to do that. That's why you can still preserve where the artist is singing based on where the pitch is going, without having to make him sound so perfect, because that's where the feeling is. All right, so he has a little bit of vibrato there. I'm gonna cut because he's a little bit out of the blob. I'm gonna bring him down a little bit and then smooth out these two parts right there. And now he's hitting on a G sharp, which is in our key.
Feeling this way.
So he has a little bit too much vibrato. I don't know if you heard that. Too much vibrato.
This way.
This way, and it's too wobbly. So we're gonna go to our pitch modulation tool. I'm gonna smooth him out a little bit.
This way.
Whole lot better. Now this is something that you probably would hear, just only subtle differences. So you have to definitely practice this so you can hear what a good tune vocal sounds like. So he's hitting on G, sliding through G, and landing on F sharp. F sharp is where the note needs to end. Okay, now we're gonna put in background autotune.
You got a nigga feeling this way.
You hear how that sounds a whole lot better? Now, it's very painstaking. You have to definitely take your time. And like most things in life, if not everything, the more you do it, the better you become at it, as long as you're doing it the right way. These little simple tools you can use to get your vocal sounding even more clean and make your artist sing. This singer, I purposely try to pick someone who doesn't really know how to like hit these notes. They're just vibing and they're vibing in the autotune and it sounds good in the autotune. So I can show you, I wouldn't say a worst case scenario, but a scenario that might be looked at as a case of someone who's really heavily dependent on autotune for their music. So when we turn on the autotune and we turn up the humanize,
you got a nigga feeling this way.
Right? There's one more note in here I want to fix, but for the sake of your time, this is just the basic of what Melodyne is and how to use it in your music. If you don't have Melodyne, Autotune has a graph mode. If you go into Autotune Pro, you can see the graph mode here, and it pretty much does similar to what Melodyne does. I like Melodyne because Melodyne is much better at getting the vocals that we need. I just want to fix this one last note.
You're feeling this way.
I think it's this straight note right here. Smooth that out.
You're feeling this way.
There we go. Whole lot better. Let's hear it without the autotune.
You got a nigga feeling this way.
Bring it down a little bit.
You got a nigga feeling this way.
Much better.
You got a nigga feeling this way.
Vocal saved. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.